Baltimore County is searching for its next inspector general amid public controversy over County Executive Kathy Klossmeyer not renewing IG Kelly Madigan's contract.
Kelly Madigan has done a fantastic job and should have been reappointed.
And now some raising questions about the selection process and why it's happening out of the public eye.
Now, they're going to be picking the next inspector general behind closed door, the opposite of transparency.
I'm going in depth on the debate over Madigan's reappointment and why one county councilman says he wants to change the process moving forward. Thank you for joining us for this week's edition of Fox 45 News In Depth. I'm Mikenzie Frost. A selection committee met again on Wednesday as they discuss who should be the next Baltimore County Inspector General. It comes nearly 2 months after Baltimore County Executive Kathy Klossmeyer's surprise decision not to reappoint Inspector General Kelly Madigan. The move sparked backlash from other county leaders as well as the public. But when we pressed Klossmeyer about why she did not renew Madigan's contract, she did not give us a straight answer. I know that the majority of the Baltimore County Council have indicated that they plan to only approve Kelly Madigan. So why move forward with the panel if they...
Well, let me just say, we let them choose a person for the panel, and not one of them have said to me, why did you do it? So what can I say?
Amid the growing controversy, Klossmeyer defended her selection process, arguing it's laid out in the county charter. But Madigan disagrees, saying it's a misreading of the charter code.
The code very simply says that an inspector general may not serve more than 2 full terms and shall be subject to appointment for a second term in accordance with A1. And A1 simply states appointed by the county executive and nominated by, confirmed by county council.
The process said to me, 5 years after that, you have to talk about it some more. So
she told you that the code was not, that was not the right interpretation.
We're finished. Thank you.
Okay.
Now, Klossmeyer's panel is expected to recommend at least 3 people to the county executive for appointment. Then it'll be up to the 7-member county council for final confirmation. But some are calling for more transparency, with meetings behind closed doors shrouding the process in secrecy. The Baltimore County Inspector General selection panel has been getting to work. So far, the 5-member group has held 3 meetings. The first, June 26th.
I'm calling the first meeting of the Inspector General Selection Panel to order.
That one was just virtual and largely organizational in nature. But according to meeting minutes, the panel agreed to interview 8 of the 23 applicants. That decision made during the closed portion of the meeting.
And I think Baltimore County is at a crossroads right now.
David Williams, president of the Taxpayers Protection Alliance, has been keeping tabs on Baltimore County's process of picking a new watchdog. He argues keeping most of the decision-making secret is not good governing.
The Inspector General is appointed to bring transparency to government. Now, they're going to be picking the next Inspector General behind closed doors, the opposite of transparency.
But that didn't happen during the second selection panel meeting.
Minutes are approved by a vote of 4-0.
Where on July 7th, this time in person, the panel once again moved to discuss in private.
I will now take a motion to go into closed session.
Fast forward 2 days.
All in favor of adjourning the open session and going into closed session?
Another meeting. Few details for the public. This time, one of the applicants scheduled for their interview.
I'm excited.
Are you?
I'm looking forward to the opportunity to talk about the work.
Kelly Madigan herself, the county's first inspector general, sat before the selection panel Wednesday, outlining to the panel that was formed by the county executive who told her to reapply why she should stay on the job. Madigan urged the county for more transparency in the process.
I would be happy to have my interview be publicly aired. I think that that's important.
But the panel,
B1, an inspector general shall hold a term for 4 years.
Pointing to Maryland code as a reason to shield the details from the public.
They're in closed session because the Maryland Public Information Act does not allow personnel information.
The panel sticking to the same list of questions for each candidate during the interview process. After her interview, Madigan said she felt she is in a unique position compared to the others vying for her own job.
I have a unique position in that I'm actually in the role and I've created the office, so I tried, where appropriate, to go back to the work that we've done.
That work has grown over the years, too. The last annual report from the county IG's office from fiscal year 2024 revealed the office handled 277 complaints, opened 22 new investigations, and produced 11 reports.
The office, in essence, can pay for itself. You know, the reports show the value.
Madigan's office says based on Baltimore County's population, it cost each resident approximately 73 cents, or nearly the same as 3 25-cent gumballs, to fund the Inspector General's office. In return, the watchdog has uncovered failures in communication regarding contract amendments. Another report revealed a trash hauler was mixing residential and commercial trash, costing the county more than $220,000. And a county employee was misusing a vehicle, wasting nearly $2 grand in county resources.
It's been an honor to serve as the first Inspector General. I've built this office from scratch. I've built it into something that everyone can be proud of. I've established our policies and procedures. We've kind of produced some amazing reports. I've got a great team, but we are still really small. And I would like to be reappointed because I have a real vision for the future for this office.
Those reports have helped build trust between Baltimore County residents and the government.
Kelly Madigan has done a fantastic job and should have been reappointed.
Madigan supporters showing up for her outside the county building where her interview was held, questioning why this controversial and now secretive process is even unfolding in the first place.
You have to wonder, given the county executive's actions and statements or non-statements to date, what the purpose is. Is it just to camouflage her intention all along?
Now, Inspector General Kelly Madigan remains outspoken about her concerns with County Executive Klossmeyer's selection process. According to Madigan, this is the first time the county has ever created a selection panel for the IG, specifically taking issue with how members of that panel were chosen.
So right now, there is no process. There had never been an Inspector General selection panel that was created. I don't even know that that exists in the code. I've asked questions about, what policies they're going to follow, how they're going to conduct their process, and those names were all determined by the county executive. So that's not independent.
What's happening in Baltimore County is not the case in other Maryland jurisdictions. Take a closer look at the data from other counties across the state and how they appoint their inspectors general. Around Maryland, each jurisdiction has a different setup for keeping track of tax dollars and rooting out waste, fraud, and abuse. Starting in Baltimore City, the Office of Inspector General was created in 2005, but it has evolved significantly since then. Eventually, the voters in the city deciding to make the office more independent, establishing an oversight board tasked with hiring and firing the city's watchdog. Down by D.C., in Montgomery County, the Office of Inspector General was established in 1997. The County Council appoints the IG to a 4-year term. The selection comes from a list of at least 3 candidates recommended by a nomination panel of 3 to 5 county residents who are not county employees. The IG can serve up to 2 full terms. In Prince George's County, the Inspector General's role is different. PG County created the Office of Integrity, Compliance, and Police Accountability in 2021. The head of this office is an Inspector General, mainly focused on civilian oversight of the police department. The county executive in Prince George's County selects the Inspector General, and there is no independent advisory board. The Howard County Council voted unanimously in 2024 to put a charter amendment before the voters to establish an independent Office of Inspector General. In November of that year, the voters gave the green light. Mirroring what's in Baltimore City, Howard County's 7-member IG advisory panel will select and oversee the county's watchdog. State lawmakers from Anne Arundel County introduced legislation to create an Office of Inspector General, citing the need for independent oversight like neighboring counties. The plan failed to get out of committee. One county council member in Baltimore County is introducing new legislation to try and bring Baltimore County's Inspector General selection process in line with surrounding jurisdictions.
This legislation was crafted by including the best practices of the Baltimore City Inspector General appointment boards and the appointment boards of the Howard County Inspector General's office.
Monday night, Councilmember Izzy Patoka formally proposed legislation to create an appointment board to select Baltimore County's Inspector General. The panel would include 7 members, 1 appointed by the County Council, 1 appointed by the County Executive, and 5 other seats filled by professionals in ethics, accounting, and higher education. Board members must also meet certain criteria, such as being a county resident, at least 21 years old, and having some knowledge or experience related to the office of Inspector General. Elected officials, along with their spouses and relatives, would be disqualified. Patoka says he hopes these guidelines can help remove politics from the selection process.
I believe the establishment of this appointing authority will eliminate real or perceived bias in the selection of the Baltimore County's Inspector General. It will also strengthen, and this is really important, it will also strengthen public confidence in Baltimore County government.
Now, the bill needs 5 votes to pass the County Council. Council members are expected to vote on the measure next month. If it passes, it then goes to the voters, who can approve or deny during next year's election. Coming up, Councilmember Izzy Patoka joins us in studio to talk about that new legislation and why he wants to see more transparency.
All right, everybody, listen up.
Repeat. After me.
Okay.
Good plan.
Thursday.
What? Why Thursdays?
That's the plan for the summer.
Summer.
Thursday.
Summer.
Thursday. Oh, I love comedy in the summer.
Summer.
Thursday.
Summer.
Thursday.
Rupert, do we have anything on Thursday? Awesome. Way to think fast, you dope. Now we have to go.
Tonight at 8 on Fox 45.
The truck almost ended my life. Mike made them pay.
Trucking companies have endless resources to fight cases, but taking them on, that's what I do.
I didn't know what to do, but Mike did.
Call 844-MIKE-WINS. He's tough.
And that's a promise.
Hi, we're the Impact Home Team.
And our parents buy houses for cash.
Whatever situation you find yourselves in, put our experience to work for you.
We've helped with every scenario. Severely damaged houses, back taxes, foreclosure.
Even homes in great condition going through probate or family dispute.
And you pay no commissions or fees.
Call us today. We want to buy your house for cash.
Let our family put our years of experience to work for you.
Call 410-656-1111.
This summer, FH Fur is turning up the savings and cooling down your costs. Get up to $2,000 off a brand new high-efficiency HVAC system, plus 0 payments and 0 interest for 12 months. That means total home comfort today and not a dime due till next year. Our expert techs deliver knowledge, experience, and professionalism. But don't wait. This is a limited time offer.
877-CALL-FUR. FHFur.com.
Ron was an active guy.
I'm an outdoorsman.
Until plantar fasciitis pain hit.
My wife said, I'm going to take you to the Good Feet store.
Now?
I can do my happy dance. That's what Good Feet dance.
Come in for your free fitting.
University of Maryland Global Campus is a school for real life, one that values the successes you've already achieved. Earn up to 90 undergraduate credits for relevant experience and get the support you need from your first day to graduation day and beyond. What will your next success be?
Truck accidents are some of the worst, and taking on trucking companies is no easy task. But at the Mike Slocum Law Firm, we win these cases every day.
I was getting nowhere until I called Mike. Mike got me over $1 million.
Call 844-MIKE-WINS. He's tough.
And that's a promise.
As Baltimore County Executive Kathy Klossmeyer continues the search for a new Inspector General, some county leaders are questioning whether she should pause the process as a new proposal works its way through the County Council. Councilmember Izzy Patoka's proposed legislation would change how the Inspector General is appointed, creating an independent panel to address what he sees as a political process in need of more transparency. But Patoka's proposal still needs to pass the county council and then receive another vote of approval from Baltimore County residents during next year's election. So it wouldn't take effect before the current IG is either reappointed or replaced. IG Kelly Madigan says she's not expecting County Executive Klossmeyer to change course.
You'd have to ask Ms. Klossmeyer as to whether it's appropriate for her to continue on. Certainly some of the members of the public have kind of spoken out. They've called for me to be reappointed. I don't know. I think in some ways it could make a lot of sense, but I wouldn't be surprised if Ms. Klossmeyer just continued with the path that she's on.
County Executive Klossmeyer was asked if she supports Patoka's bill and whether she thinks it's appropriate for her panel to move forward as this legislation makes its way through the council. Her office responded in a statement reiterating her confidence in the current selection process. Joining me now to talk about his new legislation and the ongoing selection process for the Inspector General is County Council member Izzy Patoka. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me, Mikenzie.
All right, so let's start with the ongoing legislation. Let's get your thoughts on, do you believe that you will get enough support from your colleagues for this bill to pass during the county council vote that's expected to take place in a couple of weeks?
Well, we'll see. It was just introduced on Monday, and we'll have 2 public hearings. So I don't know that I have a supermajority yet, and let me emphasize that this bill, because it's a charter amendment, will require a supermajority, which is 5 of the 7 members must vote in the affirmative to move it onto the ballot and have the voters make their determination whether this is good public policy. I believe this is really good public policy, and it'll create a greater level of trust in Baltimore County government.
Why do you believe that that's necessary? Where is the level of trust, do you think, right now between the government and Baltimore County residents?
Well, I think there's always some level of anxiousness with government in itself, and we want to have the highest level of trust that we can offer. And we've heard from constituents across, not only in my district, but across the county, that this initiative is necessary. That's why I was anxious to introduce it. I'm going to lobby hard for this, and I think with good legislative work, we'll achieve the 5 votes. We've had overwhelming support in terms of the feedback we're getting through the different portals, email, text, Facebook messaging. So I think it's good policy, and we're going to move forward with this.
During the public comment portions of this in the public hearings, what are you hoping that voters learn about this legislation? And, you know, Baltimore County would not be alone in how this process would play out if this were to pass, correct?
Sure, and we modeled this bill through the Howard County bill, the Howard County Inspector General's office, the Baltimore City's Inspector General's office, and also in consultation with the Association of Inspectors General. So it's been vetted pretty thoroughly through successful processes. What we're hoping to do is we want to ensure that this bill is forward-thinking and will allow for the public to have confidence in the selection of the Inspector General.
What's your take on the selection process right now that's unfolding? Do you think politics are at play for Kelly Madigan?
Well, I'll say this, Mikenzie, to me, it's about employee retention. It's always been about employee retention. If you have a good employee, you want to retain that employee. If you ask that employee to reapply for their job, for his or her job, that's not great for morale. And for this job, for Inspector General, I think there are nuances to it that are different than other jobs in government. It's an investigative job. It is a job that requires a law background. And you have to understand county agencies and the nuances of county agencies. And I think Kelly Madigan has done a really good job to do that. I think Kelly's done an exceptional job. And we want to retain our good employees, as I mentioned earlier. And so, you know, I support Kelly's nomination. I hope that the group that is currently reviewing the applicants will forward Kelly Madigan's name to the county executive, and then her name will be forwarded to the county council.
Now, let me ask you this. We heard from Kelly. She said that she would be open. She wanted her interview to be open to the public. She would be okay with that. The selection panel said no. Do you believe that that process should be open to the public for them to hear and listen to the interview process?
Well, that's a difficult needle to thread, Mikenzie, because it is an HR process.
Sure.
And so because it's a human resources process, there's only so far that you can go. So I do understand why there is that challenge by the committee, but really we should just be at the point where we're rehiring a good employee. And then we'd be beyond that point. Kelly would be working on the investigations that are in front of her and continuing to do the good work that she was selected to do.
Do you think that we would be in this position that we're in and having this conversation had Kelly Madigan be reappointed before the previous county executive left the position?
Well, that's a good question. And like I said earlier, it really goes back to retaining strong employees. And so whether it's this administration or the previous administration, if you have a strong employee, you want to keep that employee with your organization. Our organization is Baltimore County government, and we have, Kelly's been a change maker, and I think that that's an important thing to do, but it's also sometimes difficult for government entities to deal with change. And so sometimes change makers have a difficult time in government itself, but they are necessary, and I support the change making that Kelly Madigan has done because she's changed the way county government acts, and I think that's important as we move forward into the future.
All right. Councilmember Patoka, I appreciate your insight. We'll be sure to follow this bill process as it plays out. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mikenzie.
All right, we reached out to all 7 members of the Baltimore County Council, asking them what they think about the ongoing selection process for the next Inspector General and whether they would support appointing a new Inspector General instead of reappointing Kelly Madigan. Councilman Patoka responded to our questions, reiterating his belief that Madigan should have been reappointed, and he will support her nomination. We also heard from 2 other council members. Councilmember David Marks from District 5 responded. He says he believes County Executive Klossmeyer did have the authority to reappoint Madigan, and he hopes she will be reappointed. Mark says Madigan is his first choice for Inspector General. Councilmember Julian Jones from District 4 said his responsibility is to determine whether the person nominated for Inspector General is qualified for the position, and that he is confident the county executive's process will make a responsible and reasonable choice, but did not indicate whether he would support Madigan or a different nominee. Jones also says he's always supported the office of Inspector General, but back in 2023, he did introduce several amendments that would have weakened the office. Following criticism, he withdrew those amendments. Even as she fights to keep her job as Inspector General, Kelly Madigan is still performing her duties for the OIG. A report released Thursday found a Baltimore County corrections officer fraudulently received a federal loan worth nearly $20,000. According to that report, the corrections officer got the loan through the COVID-era CARES Act in June of 2021. That officer allegedly lied to the Small Business Administration about earning $94,000 a year in the taxi service industry, but there was no record of those earnings. Before the officer could begin repaying the loan, it was forgiven by the federal government. The county says police are launching an investigation into that incident. And this is not the first report that Madigan has released since she was told to reapply for her own job. She says it's possible County Executive Klossmeyer's decision was political, arguing that's why it's important for the Office of Inspector General to operate independently.
It's possible. I mean, I think any Inspector General would tell you, some of the work that we do is controversial. It's accurate. I stand by all of the reports. Some of the reports are not well received by necessarily the subject of the report or the target of the report. That's the challenge with oversight. I think that's why it's so important to have terms and have a process supporting independence, just like the Blue Ribbon Commission said. Right now with the appointment process being solely resting in the hands of the county executive, for all I know, she didn't like one of the reports that we submitted, and that's what caused her to do all this. I don't know, you'd have to ask her. But I think it's a really tough job, and you need to have the right person do it, but you also need to have processes in place to protect that independence.
This week, we asked you what changes you want to see to the IG selection process in Baltimore County. We'll take a look at some of your responses after the break.
Here's tonight's primetime lineup on Fox 45. Brought to you locally by your McDonald's owner-operators.
Get a new energy-efficient HVAC system from Blue Dot for just $159 a month and take up to 180 months to pay. Call 1-800-BLUE-DOT to schedule your free consultation or second opinion with the pros at Blue Dot today.
Many in our communities are struggling with the stigma of addiction and may feel helpless.
Shame and stigma is the biggest barrier to somebody getting any type of help.
When you label somebody, what do you get out of that? Nothing. But when you help somebody, you can change the world.
Let's replace a world full of stigma with a community of compassion. For more information, visit stopoverdose.maryland.gov or call or text 988.
Are you tired of dealing with your old worn-down bathroom? Maybe you're putting off a bathroom remodeling project because you're concerned about the cost. Well, it may be more affordable than you think with West Shore Homes' big summer special.
That's right, it's our 4th of July sale, and I'm doing something special to make it easy to remodel your bathroom this summer. Right now, you'll get free installation for your bathroom remodeling project, plus you get 36 months of 0% APR. We can completely transform your bathroom in less than a week. We'll tear out your old bath and replace it with beautiful brand new walls, a base, and fixtures. Plus, we have flooring and vanity options that are designed to match your bathroom perfectly. Here's another job we've done recently. They wanted to tear out their old bath and replace it with a modern shower. We were able to match it perfectly with a new vanity, flooring, and toilet. And the best part, the typical remodel only takes 2 to 3 days, not 2 to 3 weeks like most contractors.
Wow, that shower looks awesome and it matches the floor and vanity perfectly. I bet those homeowners were thrilled.
They absolutely loved it. And with our 4th of July sale, this type of project is more affordable than you think.
That's an amazing offer, BJ. I actually had West Shore Home remodel my bathroom and it looked incredible.
Our 4th of July sale was extended this week only. Call the number on your screen right now to get free installation on your bathroom remodel. And if you call in right now, you can get started with $0 down and you'll get 36 months of 0% APR. That's huge savings and 3 full years of interest-free financing. This offer ends soon, so lock in these savings today.
Get a new HVAC system from ARS Rescue Rooter for just $159 a month and take up to 180 months to pay. Trust the pros at ARS to provide your family with years of uninterrupted comfort. Call 888-403-0610 to schedule your appointment.
This week we asked, what changes, if any, do you want to see to the selection process for the next Inspector General of Baltimore County? Let's take a look at some of your responses. Brian has an interesting opinion here. In a two-party system, he says the Inspector General should always be from the party opposing the one with the majority of the council. Goes for red counties and blue counties. And then we have Bob says, eliminate politicians from the selection process. Let we the people decide. Same for Baltimore City. Craig says, should be voted in by the people. That's it for this week's edition of Fox 45 News In Depth. I'm Mikenzie Frost.